Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the first Porch Party podcast with Rizwan Desai and Wasim Kapadia.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam. So, we have decided to start a podcast, kind of kicked off this idea from Wasim's article a week ago. He talked about some nostalgic ideas from our past, and it got a pretty good reception. And we thought, hey, you know what? Why not bring our community a little bit closer together and start a podcast with some news bulletins, interviews, bring people on, and bring the community a little bit closer together with this podcast. So um, our first podcast is sponsored by Empire Wireless. Your boy Riaz Manjra Bain, the frontline worker that will bring you 5G. That's right, 5G to your phone. If you need it, go and talk to your boy. All right. So, just to start off, Vasim, what inspired you to write the article? What gave you this idea?
Well, I think first and foremost, I'm trying to get my blog back up. I've had some positive feedback, but it was just a challenge, getting writing again. So I wrote a post the week before, and I was thinking about putting something out last week, and Ramadan was going to start, and we're living in some challenging times here. Obviously, physically with the physical distancing, and then the spiritual distancing. And what I mean by that is the fact that we're distanced from the masjid, right? Not being able to go to the masjid. So I just asked myself, look, if I write something, what can I put out to inspire, whether it's my community or the world, right? And I tried to focus on Dollins. I'm like, how can I give back to the community? How can I make people feel good? How can I bring back that sense of Ramadan, of community? And it's not going to happen in a few words, but just a little bit of that, even a little speck of that feeling. I decided just to kind of throw down my ideas on a piece of paper. Alhamdulillah, it stuck, and people really seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. It was interesting to see the response of the guys that especially have moved away from the area who really kind of value the things you were talking about. One of the big things were taking our bikes to the park. I think it was about 30 of us racing in and racing out, and you just hope to God that around the bend where the gym is, you don't wipe out and take out three or four guys behind you on your way to Maghrib. I remember distinctly. Oh my God, we were talking about this story last week. I took my bike out to the park. We were playing basketball in the corner there, and we're done and we're on our way to Maghrib, and I'm looking for my bike and it's not there. And I'm looking everywhere. I'm asking everyone, "You see my bike? You see my bike?" Nobody saw my bike. I said, "Subhanallah, all right, let me go to the masjid." This was about 10 bikes in 3 years that I'd lost. So I'm praying Maghrib, but my intention's not there. My focus is not there because I know I'm about to get a whooping. I go back to the park after Maghrib, hoping that the bike's there. Not there. Head home. You already know my dad had me. I tried to run up the stairs. He caught me midway up the stairs. That was it, right? Took me to the park about 10 minutes later. Your boy, Uzair Motala, walking innocent with my bike. My dad goes, "Oh, where was it?" He goes, "Oh, it was right over there." My man took the bike without asking, got me a beat down, and 2 days later, he comes up to me, goes, "Why'd you snitch me out to your dad?" Gives me four walls of Jericho in the park. Made me cry. Bro, this guy.
Oh man.
Listen,
What was your brother doing though at that time? Was he just watching you, or what?
well, my brother at that point, I don't even know if he was at the park that day. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I remember it's funny that you mentioned bikes though, because I remember if you were the first guy at the masjid, you were the first guy to lock your bike to the wherever you're supposed to lock your bike. But then people would come up behind you and they'd lock their bikes to your bike. And
Double park.
that's when you're a pickle, right? Because you can't leave. You can't leave until everybody else leaves.
Yeah. There should, that was the bane of going to Maghrib, waiting for somebody who's parked up behind you, and they decide it was a good time to pray their Sunnah Mokada and their Nafil.
There's simpler
Listen,
times, man. Simpler times.
yeah, and it got me thinking about Ramadan, this Ramadan from our childhoods, and how we used to all go to the masjid, having halim and having our dude called drink all together, our elite crew in the kitchen. We had your crew in the corner. I remember your boy Cheese Dog, Ayaz, all these guys used to come up in the left corner by the closet there, sitting on that nasty green carpet, caked on with Halim stains and all kinds of stains from years and years ago. Um, I wanted to ask you actually, what's your most favorite memory from having your fasts broken inside the masjid?
Just knowing that, we messed around, and people messed around, whatever it was, but knowing that your friends were going to be there, right? And it wasn't just about going to, for going to break your fast. It was just going to namaz in general, right? Going to pray Dhuhr, during the holidays, and going to pray Maghrib, because anytime you saw somebody that didn't attend, the first question they asked was, who was at the masjid, right? That was the classic question, was who was there, right? And we started making fun of those guys, like, this guy's gonna show up and ask who was there, because he wasn't at
Yeah,
Maghrib, he wasn't at Dhuhr.
yeah. I, that's not my favorite memory. My favorite memory is when all the mans before before other guys come, they would take the bones out of their halim soup and throw it in. Irfan, Askani's halim, and my man would drink until he just reaches straight charbi. Oh man. And I mean, that brings us to this year where, subhanallah, no one's at the masjid, but now we got the call to Adhan being blasted from the masjid all through the community. And subhanallah, I'm seeing videos, I think, all the way from Ovez's house, Hanif Sheikh's house, all the way to the masjid. You guys can hear the Adhan that far.
Yeah, man, subhanAllah, it's amazing, man. And I think most people are happy about it, except for maybe Tariq Fatah. But aside from that, it's honestly, it's mashallah, it's amazing, man. Like, I went last week, and subhanAllah, it's just that feeling of, the Adhan being called out onto Danforth Avenue. It's unreal. It's unreal. We were born in the community, we were raised in the community, we grew up here, we were going to the masjid, day in, day out, and never did we think that, that there would be a day when where the Adhan would be called out into public like that. But subhanAllah, people live down Downlands and they can hear it in their backyards, and that's just amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, like, I mean, big thank you to the counselor for kind of giving the go ahead for that. But also, I think we need to bring out the story of kind of who were the people that pushed for this to happen and bring that story to light. So, inshallah, maybe we can get some people on and talk about that in the coming weeks as well.
Yeah, of
I think that
course.
would be an
No,
interesting story.
absolutely. Yeah, and shout out to Paula Fletcher, who is, I think, the counselor, who was kind of the main politician behind the initiative. So thank you to her.
Yeah, mashallah. And of course, yeah, I mean, you mentioned this guy who is giving his opinion about the topic. And of course, you'll have people like that that will definitely be against it. um, at the end of the day, it's his opinion and his views. Obviously, we know that there was going to be some kind of pushback as the days went on, and there is that kind of underlying. I don't want to label it as kind of hatred or anything like that, but the wording in that article was quite strong for sure, and you don't want to react to it. I noticed that when the story was posted in our group chat, obviously there was a lot of voices of calm that this is exactly what the person who would write this kind of article would want. They would want you to react in a kind of inflammatory way, and I mean, you're gonna keep getting those opinions. Let's just, Alhamdulillah, for the time being, we have our Adhan recorded, and inshallah, we can have that, that call to prayer being shown to everybody for the rest of Ramadan. Before we leave, we just have a quick announcement about a little program, an initiative run by a few members of the community that I think is very helpful. Vasim, you have some details on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was able to connect with Juno, Junaid Malik, for those of you who don't know. So through the masjid, they're running a program that helps those in need with whatever they need. So whether it's hygiene kits or grocery drop-offs, whatever it is that you need assistance with, you can reach out to them via email. So it's community@madinamasjid.ca. And again, that's Medina with an H at the end. And the phone number is 647-344-2483. So again, they're helping with hygiene kits, grocery drop-offs, and whatever else that you need. And you can get into contact by email at community@madinamasjid.ca, 647-344-2483.
MashaAllah. I mean, that's a really good initiative. Allah reward all of those that are involved, inshallah.
Me.
And before we sign off, a big shout out to Muhammad Okadia and Fatima Okadia, who just had their first baby girl in the month of Ramadan. Allah keep her healthy and happy and make her a blessing for your family and the community, inshallah. All right, so that's me and Vasim signing off on the Porch Party podcast for this week. Inshallah, we'll see you again next week with some more information in our area.